What's going on, you guys? It's your boy. Today I'm bringing you knowledge on how to play Slayer. I'm going to jump into this very quickly because I have a lot of information to cover and I don't want this video to be very long. What I'm going to cover is the Slayer's gear, the main stats that you're looking for, your main combos, and I'm going to cover the skills and comprehensive. So I'm going to jump right into it. Alright, so here I am on my level 45 Slayer, 472 gear score. Let's take a look at my gear. I'm going to tell you the main stats that you look for. On your helmet, this is my helmet, you would look for the random effects for critical hit power. You would also look for projectile critical hit rate or projectile critical power. For your chest piece, what you're going to look for random effect is critical hit resistance or damage reflection. Those are top two. The projectile skill power is like not great. Like if you get it on there or whatever, but it's not crit, so it's not great. Those defensive stats are better. I'd rather have decreased critical hit damage over one of these damage ones on my chest piece. Chest and pants are for defense, so it's the same thing. Damage reflection and critical hit resistance are primary, like I said, but you know, these are ideal stats. If you can get those, you choose those over a piece without them. If you can get it to a high enough enhanced level. For my weapon, definitely max attack is main stat. Critical hit power after max attack. Min attack is very secondary. I would say decrease cooldown over min attack for sure. Decrease cooldown probably over critical hit power as well. And then magical attack power is probably the main thing you want for the dark damage on Slayer. And then for your gloves, max attack again, projectile skill critical hit rate is really good, and then projectile critical hit power is also really good. For your boots, it's kind of the same, projectile skill critical hit rate, projectile critical hit power. Those are the main two. And then movement speed though. Movement speed on boots is really good because it's hard to get it anywhere else. So depends on which one you get. If I got movement speed, I would keep it. If I got projectile critical hit rate, I'd probably keep that as well. It just depends which one you get first, I guess. Magical type power and random effect for your offhand is key. And the first breakthrough that you ever really want to get is your secondary offhand. That way you can open up your extra skill slot. The next one after that is your chest, and the next one after that is your gloves. Unless you want to go secondary into pants, into gloves, pants or chest, it depends. The pants gives you barrier while the chest gives you damage immunity. So totally depends on your playstyle and which one you prefer. Both are good, both pants and chest. Yeah, those are my stats really. I am using the blood drain stat to increase HP absorption. But it's because it's higher gear level than my other stat. The physical damage increase on Challenger's Ring is decent, but the magical damage increase is really what you want to go for on these random effect rings. Always magic attack over physical for Slayer because you want to boost your dark damage for Rampage and Imprint. Alright, in MIP, my strength is at 1045. That is your main stat. Getting strength is not terrible, but I always would roll for accuracy or crit for my enhancements on gear. For enhancements, like you see at the bottom, I have critical hit rate, accuracy. For this one, should be critical hit rate. This one is I don't have it enhanced or enchanted yet. Critical hit rate, I don't have this one enchanted yet either. But if I get accuracy, that's primary. If I get critical hit rate, I'll keep it until I have enough to reroll for accuracy, because accuracy is very important late game, especially on your PvE set. That way you can penetrate the higher level mobs beyond the mana wall. So yeah, that's mostly what you want to focus on for stats. Critical hit rate as well. The last thing about stats is your runes. As you hit tier 4 on a rune, it has a chance to acquire a stat. So for my runes, I'm going for accuracy, I'm going for critical hit rate. Accuracy is primary, critical hit is secondary. If I get a crit one, great. I want accuracy though. I want as much accuracy as possible. I don't have all of these set to the right stats that I want, but I do have most of these on either crit or accuracy. And the ones that I do have on crit or accuracy, I polish them at level 4. That way I get the extra 2 stats. So you get 4 total stats instead of just 2 after polishing at level 4. And I want to polish before I go to tier 5, because the tier 5, if it breaks to tier 5, it's just gonna downgrade. So polishing is actually better because it's really expensive as far as rune powder. That's it, boys. Those are my runes. So I would go damage reflection if possible, if like you have the stats. I do have a tier 3 damage reflection here, but I don't have the slots to put it up, so I'm using barrier effect, skill tribute, and the runestone movement block for my 3 transcendence. If I could trade this orange for purple, I would definitely put in damage reflection over this movement block. Damage reflection is gonna scale with your slam. So yeah, there you go. Those are your stats. I'm gonna go through the skill tribute list pretty quickly. Half Moon Slash is your normal attack. It generates vigor. Slam is a primary skill. Always slot it. It consumes energy. It gives you bladed shield. It is your reflect. It is your block, basically. You have to time it. It's a counter block. Windstorm Cleave is your main DPS skill. It is an absolute must. You have to have it. Zero Power Strike was good early game. It falls off late game because it's really predictable in PvP, and in PvE you just have better skills. Absolute Attack is good early game. Dragon Serial Slash is good early game. You can combo with Absolute Attack, like you can Dragon Serial Slash to get them into an airborne if you slot it into an Absolute Attack as a combo, but keep in mind the first windup of Absolute Attack is not safe. Even though the skill has tenacity, the first hit, like the first few frames of the skill is not safe. You can still be CC'd out of it. Dragon Serial Slash is a really good skill. It has dodge, and it's a good combo skill. So once I get more skill points, I probably will be slotting that. Blade of Blood is one of the vigor consuming skills. It's not good to be paired with Blood Drain. If you're going to be rocking Blade of Blood with Blood Drain, you have to use the vigor with Blade of Blood before you use Blood Drain. That way you don't waste your DPS. Blood Drain is mostly for utility, so you don't really need the vigor consuming, but it is punishing if you don't pay attention to your vigor stacks. Art of Fencing is your main pull, and as well as your main DPS. You can Art of Fencing into a Void Slash, so that's why I have it on E and R. Art of Fencing into a Void Slash, and Art of Fencing blades, projectiles will follow you. Blood Sword, not really a great skill. I don't really use it. Soaring Sword, it's good early game. You may be able to use it in like a combo situation, but I don't use it. Meteor Cleave, I don't use it. Blood Drain, again, great utility. I have it on 8. That way it gives me an airborne upon the second part of the skill. You basically pull an enemy in when they have no stamina. You just watch and bait. The second you know your enemy has no stamina, you can get close. You can Blood Drain them into an airborne and then get them into Windstorm Cleave resets. Blast Sword is a good skill, but it is very, very, very predictable. At a low skill tier, you might be able to use it. At a high skill echelon, if you see a Slayer jumping at you, they're just gonna dodge. I wouldn't use it. Bloodstream Summon, it's a really, really, really good skill. Once I have more skill points that I can get to, it'll be good 1vx. Right now, it's really good 1v1. This Bloodstream Summon will CC your opponents as well as damage your opponents, and if you stand near it, it increases your attack speed. So for PvP and PvX, it is an amazing skill. Battle Integration, its base level skill is not great. Once you get altered battle integration, it becomes a phenomenal skill. But at a base level, I don't use it because if I see someone blocking, I'm just gonna hit them through their block, and then the second you get out of block, I'm gonna be Windstorm Cleave resetting right on your head top. So base level battle integration, it doesn't work. Just the same way as base level block on Warlord doesn't work. You can still get DPS through it, and anyone who knows that is just gonna continue pressuring you even though you have your shield up. Storm Sword is really good. Once you get the epic for it, the base skills for this is not great. Expiration is really good. The green is really good on this. Probably wouldn't rock anything other than the green, though the blue is also really good for if you have a lot of skill points, but the AoE and the dark damage increase on the AoE for the green, I mean, it's just phenomenal. Blood Moon, you can use it at base level. It's phenomenal, dude. Phenomenal skill. It applies sticky, so if you catch a caster or a fast opponent into a Art of Fencing Void Slash and you get close to them, if you catch them into a combo, it's really good. Like I said, you can decrease the movement speed of the opponent and continue comboing. It's like I said, Blood Moon is just an amazing skill. You can also use it as a shock removal. So it's a CC, it's a status effect, movement speed debuff, and it is a shock removal. It's on a bit long of a cooldown, but I would never run a PvX or PvP build without Blood Moon. Imprint Release is your main damage buffing skill. It's an absolute must for PvE and PvP. Bloodchain Orb, it's too predictable, I don't use it. Bloody Ruin, it's a great combo skill. It decreases HP absorption, it has tenacity, it destructs shields, so if you hit this on a low opponent, it also executes. You can hit a caster with it into a Windstorm Cleave reset, and it's just phenomenal. Bloody Pyre is another phenomenal skill. It inflicts airborne and disables your skills. It's one of the only CCs in the game that can't be shock removed, and it also has 600% accuracy. With a lower cooldown, this skill would be actually one of your best PvE skills because of the increased accuracy, but because of the long cooldown and the fact that I don't have the skill points for Resurrection Sword to decrease cooldowns, I can't really utilize the skill to the fullest potential. But that brings me to my rune tree, where I'm going to start purple. Late game agility is going to be really good, but right now I'm using Glass Cannon. Once we get a bit more skill points to sacrifice the skill attributes, reducing the cooldowns of my skills is going to come very good. But as of right now, I'm going to stay Glass Cannon. Strength enhancement. Strength enhancement is really good to pair with Glass Cannon. I wouldn't really go compensate weakness. Not that great. Fleeting Power is it's a must because it increases your damage each time you enter combat. So pretty much what you want to do is, as you enter combat, you want to drop your main damage dealing skills, which, like I said, that's Art of Fencing, Void Slash, into your Windstorm Cleave resets, and hopefully you can finish that fight within 6 seconds. Typically you can if you catch an opponent with the full combo. It just depends on their gear level, etc. For blues, you actually have to summon my Luminous here. Missing skill points. Wrath. It's always Wrath for line 21. Deception is only good for casters. For blues, it's Protection, it's Ironclad, it's Jungle Law. Self-explanatory. For greens, Seething Blood, Stronger Together, increased damage, high HP recovery, and healing. You potentially go weaken if you want the extra damage, but I want the extra heal to pair with my blood drain. All yellow on left side for the crit, as well as like the EXP gain, the dodge. Once you hit about 445, if you're not grinding XP, what you can do is go Blissful Harvest, which I'm actually going to switch to that now because I'm mostly farming for money and drops with the Laurel. But you always want 33 rune energy, that way you get more runes for balance. Projectile, damage of projectiles, critical hit of projectiles, and then critical power of non-targeting skills. Those are the 3 you want in orange. And then for red, magic damage, basic critical hit power, and electric damage. The reason I have magic damage instead of physical, even though most of my base attacks are physical, my actual burst shields are going to be magical. Exoration deals dark damage. Once I imprint, it increases dark damage. Art of Fencing does dark damage, and then my Rampage increases dark damage. The only skill that really is like physical is Windstorm Cleave reset. So, I mean, if you want to boost your Windstorm Cleave reset, sure, go physical damage, right? But if you want to go wombo combo for PvP, then Art of Fencing and your dark damage increase is going to be the way. So play with these two, figure out which one you like. But I personally like the magic damage for the dark for the burst from imprint. Like I said, imprint Rampage. Which brings me to my combos. So like I said, your main combo is Art of Fencing, Void Slash. Art of Fencing follows you into Windstorm Cleave resets. One thing to keep in mind with your Void Slash is that you can WE into a SE. I say E because that's my hotkey, right? So I WE into a SE in order to go forward and backwards to the opponent. You can obviously, and that is very important if you're going to slot either the 8 skill Void Slash, because you can hit an opponent from behind, or the 20 skill to freeze them, because you can go through them and then come back and stack the freezes and then start getting them into Windstorm Cleave resets or Art of Fencing Windstorm Cleave. But typically what you're going to do is you're going to Art of Fencing. Once you see an opponent dodge, that's when you Void Slash to them. You have to do it very quickly, that way your Art of Fencing follows you. Otherwise, if you wait to Void Slash, they won't follow you. One thing to watch out for is a good opponent. The second you Art of Fencing, they're gonna stun you or they're gonna knock you down. So be prepared for it. How I will approach fights and my main mobility on Slayer is gonna be shift, right click, shift. So you like shift and alternate right clicks, right? Shift, right click, right click. And once your shift is up again, like you just continue shifting. With full stamina, how I will actually engage fights is I will shift, right click, Art of Fencing, wait for them to move into Void Slash, into Windstorm Cleave resets. If I catch someone in the combo, I get them to low, and then the second I see them dodge, I'll dodge towards them and drop an Exoration. That is the Wombo combo, you guys, paired with the movement of shift and slam. But yeah, so the actual full combo, once I'm low health, right, is I actually want to rampage into imprint, into Art of Fencing, into Void Slash, into Windstorm Cleave resets. Okay, and the other variation of that combo is I will actually bloodstream summon. That's how I start arenas, into imprint, into Art of Fencing, into Void Slash, into Windstorm Cleave resets. And like I said, once they dodge, you shift, slam towards them. Once you get close to them, you drop an Exoration, and start finishing the opponent or multiple opponents and cleave off. In PvE, you're literally just Art of Fencing, Void Slash the targets, and spamming Windstorm Cleave resets. You only really use Exoration after your main combo is down, as you're moving to the next pack, depending upon the health of the packs. Once you notice that your opponent doesn't have any stamina, you can plop a Blood Drain into an Airborne. Another thing to keep in mind is that what you can do is, if you're chasing a running opponent, if you can Void Slash, hit them with the second Void Slash, you can instant Sticky or Blood Moon, which will apply the Sticky, reduce movement speed, and hopefully get an Airborne knockup. If you get the Airborne knockup, you can continue the combo with, if it's a healer, you want to continue the combo with Bloody Ruin into a Windstorm Cleave reset. So that's going to be the main combo there. I'm going to show it to you here one more time. This will be the last combo I show you. While I'm waiting for the cooldown, Blood Contractor, I'm going to show you why I use that. Every 100 seconds I'm in combat, I get a Blood Contractor, which grants me invincibility upon cast, and then it also grants me 90% damage reduction. So every 100 seconds I'm in combat. That is why I have my Mana Awakening tree the way I do, and I'll show you that right after these combos. So like I said, the main combo for catching a running opponent, like you can Art of Fencing before this, but basically what you want to do, let's say you Art of Fencing, you Void Slash to them, you get them into a Sticky, Airborne, into Windstorm Cleave resets. And like I said, before the Windstorm Cleave resets, you can add a Bloody Ruin in there. Okay. So remember, always Rampage, Imprint, Art of Fencing, Void Slash. That is your main combo. Windstorm Cleave resets. Last thing that I want to show you guys is my Mana Awakening tree. So I go from blue up to orange. I'm going towards magic damage first because, like I said, I want the extra damage on my art of fencing and my expiration from rampage imprint. I'm going for burst over consistent DPS of windstorm cleave, which is physical. I want the magical damage, and after I get this magical damage transcendency, I'm going to go to the blue tree for the critical hit damage taken reduction. So I'm going to go from orange back down to blue, straight up to the critical hit damage reduction. I'm rocking preparation. That gives me blood moon contractor or blood contractor. Increased damage dealt on amplify. Increased skill attributes on scholar, and meditation. Like I said, this could be replaced with precision for the extra accuracy, but I like the PVX ability of having my ultimate up every 100 seconds while in combat with the meditation. But it's totally preference. If you're mostly a PvE, you're gonna want to just go for precision or meditation properly, unless you have survivability issues, in which meditation into preparation is really good. That's my build, you guys. That is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please drop it in the comment section below.